and you can see the tail of the tape. Harris giving up or gaining 2 years in age at 27 to Oquendo's 29. A 2-inch reach advantage for Harris, or check it, a height advantage for Harris. The reach is equal. Harris weighs 5 pounds more at 229. Rules of the bout, Harold Letterman.
Okay, Jim. The Oquendo Maurice Harris fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules that you see on the screen. Once more, real quick, the judges are going to use 4 criteria to score each round: clean punching, effective aggressiveness, ring generalship, and defense, with a strong emphasis on clean, effective punching. Jim.
All right, Harold, 2 mobile boxer punchers. Let's go up to Jimmy Lennon Jr. for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we present a heavyweight special attraction, a title elimination bout brought to you by Don King Productions and Square Ring in association with Murad Muhammad's M&M Sports, Caesars Palace, and CM Exchange of Chicago. This bout is sanctioned by the IBF, the President Miriam Muhammad, Supervisor Linda Torres. Introducing to you our 3 judges scoring this bout from ringside. They're all from Las Vegas, Nevada, and we have Chuck Jumpa, Bill Graham, and Dave Moretti. Our 3rd man to the ring, the referee in charge of this bout, fair but firm, Joe Cortez. Right, fans, here we go. 12 rounds of boxing with the IBF World Heavyweight Championship elimination bout. Introducing to you first on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, entering the ring wearing white trunks with black trim, joining us from Newark, New Jersey. He weighed in at 229 pounds with a record of 19 wins, 12 losses, and 2 draws. He has 10 wins coming by way of knockout. Introducing Sugar Mo Harris. And his opponent across the ring on my right, fighting out of the red corner, this 12-round attraction, wearing white trunks with blue and red trim, hailing from San Juan, Puerto Rico. His weight, 224 pounds. His record, 23 wins, 1 loss, with 14 wins coming by way of knockout. Ranked the IBF number 6 heavyweight in the world. Introducing Fast Fres Oquendo. Once again, Joe Cortez, our referee in charge, now to give instructions. 12 rounds of boxing schedule.
All right, gentlemen, we went over the rules in the dressing room. I expect a good, clean fight. Obey my commands at all times. I don't want any rough tactics. Any fouling, fragrant fouling will cost you points. Understand? Give me a good, clean fight, remember, guys. I'm fair, but I'm firm.
A footnote. Jim, about 3.5 seconds ago, Felix Trinidad stepped out of the ring here to cheer on Oquendo, who was trained by Felix Trinidad Sr., who has taken off for a while. So Felix is around the ring, no doubt fueling more speculation about his plans.
Amid flurries of rumors that he's planning to come back and angle toward a possible rematch with Oscar De La Hoya, but Felix hasn't said that yet. And now Maurice Harris and Fres Oquendo get it going in the first round. Maurice Harris's career was functionally dead after a loss to Chris Bird and a first-round knockout loss at the hands of Henry Akinwande. But then when he was put in against an opponent last year against unbeaten Russian Sergei Lakovich, Harris outclassed Lakovich and eventually TKO'd him, rescued his career. He can go further toward that if he can score a victory over Oquendo here tonight, but he thinks he has to knock Oquendo out to win.
Someone had to start the fight, and it was Oquendo to do it. That's the best, that's a good sign. Whoever starts a fight means they want to win it more, generally.
Harris sort of just letting his jab drift out there for the moment, while Oquendo is sticking his jab and has landed it a few times on Harris's face.
Already an abrasion on Harris's nose.
He's usually undertrained because his personal life is almost always in turmoil, and there's a good right hand by Oquendo.
Oquendo is a boxer And so is the other guy, Maurice. Now, it's going to be a hard fight trying to figure out who can outbox if one has a longer reach. Someone is going to have to turn aggressor and kind of get a little crude to make a good fight out of this.
Well, just to reemphasize what we saw on the tail of the tape, Harris has a height advantage, but not necessarily a reach advantage. And right now, Oquendo has a confidence advantage because he's the one who's fighting as though he believes he's here for a purpose.
Yeah, and that purpose is to do what John Ruiz did in overcoming a knockout by David Tua. 2 fights ago, Oquendo was stopped by David Tua after leading him through most of the fight. And so far, he has been surprising Harris with a quick right hand. He's not noted as a puncher, although the record shows that he knocked Clifford Etienne down 7 times when they fought.
Which may or may not mean he's a puncher.
Etienne being the fighter that Mike Tyson stopped in less than a minute last week.
Now Harris beginning to get his feet wet in the fight as he starts to back Oquendo up with his jab.
Harris has got this fantastic differential in height advantage. Never supposed to be able to receive a right hand by this shorter opponent.
There was a
All you
good
got to do
quick
is stand up straight and get back.
Good quick left hook by Maurice Harris that landed in there. One of the better punches of the round. If they speak Spanish in Fres Oquendo's corner, our interpreter there is Ray Torres.
That was beautiful. Nice, nice and calm. How do you feel? Let's get some Vaseline on him. Now we got that round. Okay, we have 1 round already. That's the first. Don't let him get up there. You know, don't let him be aggressive. Use your jab. Nice.
Straight line. Okay. Breathe deep, slow down. Don't blow your nose. Don't, just a little bit. Keep that hand up and stay over to your left side. You know the guy gonna try to throw right hand.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
Just be cool as a boxing match, all right?
Yeah.
Fres Oquendo grew up in Chicago where he won 2 Golden Gloves championships, had an excellent amateur career before moving on to professional fighting. As Larry mentioned, the only loss was the loss to David Tua. He's 23-1. Maurice Harris, a poor kid from Newark, found himself at age 16 needing to take care of 4 brothers and sisters after his parents died. Started taking fights for $100. Lied about his age. It was illegal for him to fight at that time. Thus, the 12 losses on his record. Some of them came early when he really didn't know what he was doing. And even since that time, he's frequently taken fights on short notice.
Maurice Harris is a good fighter. He just gets low. You've got to stay tall. If you're tall, take advantage of your height. Don't get low with the shorter guys, because that's when they can hit you.
CompuBox numbers in round 1 showed Oquendo with a very precise round. 19 out of 36, 53%. Harris only landed 4 punches in the round. That's why Oquendo's trainer said, precioso, beautiful.
Oquendo was able to land a good left jab there. That shouldn't happen.
Harris's trainer, James Bashir, has worked with him for a decade, waiting for this talent to materialize into something. He's just about at his wit's end. And Maurice comes out once again tonight and does not assert himself in the first 2 rounds the way he assured us yesterday in fighter meetings that he would. Looping right misses for Oquendo. Blood trickling from the nose of Maurice Harris.
Maurice Harris is kind of lazy. He even act a little lazy.
By his own admission.
Get a little fired up, he can be some good fighter. Something that's got to fire him up.
He has so many good moments in there, and then just seems to go to sleep. Case in point, Harris appeared to be getting the better of Derek Jefferson one night in Atlantic City in a moment when Jefferson was a rising prospect. Just when it seemed Harris really had him going, Jefferson landed a left hook and knocked Harris's mouthpiece into the 10th row. That was the end of that.
Maurice is taking some good right hands now. That's not good.
Prez looks very focused tonight, George. Like he really knows what his business is and intends to do it.
No knockdown, no knockdown.
Well, let's mark your calendars for these upcoming fights. March 8th, Vladimir Klitschko, the Ukrainian star looking for Lennox Lewis, takes on Corey Sanders. March 29th, former heavyweight champion Hasim Rahman faces the man who beat him 4 years ago, David Tua. Also, middleweight champ Bernard Hopkins fighting in his hometown of Philadelphia against Murad Hakkar. April 12 on HBO pay-per-view, featherweight champion Marco Antonio Barrera faces comebacking Kevin Kelly. And on May 3 on HBO pay-per-view, Oscar De La Hoya takes on Yuri Boy Campos, and Eric Morales meets Bobby Boy Velardes. Velardes, a lanky fighter, underrated, could present an interesting challenge for Morales.
Take your time, but keep those jabs working. Don't back up in a straight line. He's trying to hit you in the head with the right hand.
Early this week, Oquendo was listed in the sports books here in Las Vegas as a 5 or 6 to 1 favorite. A few bettors came in and plunged on Harris, who they thought had a serious chance to win the fight, and the odds closed down around 2 to 1. So far, Oquendo is performing more like the 6 to 1.
Yep. Jabs through round 2. Oquendo's landed 24 of 52. That's largely been the story of the fight. He's been tattooing Harris with his jab. Harris landing only 5 out of 60 jabs, and a lot of them of the lazy variety.
Now the jab is starting to pick up for Harris. Good left jab. Now, why does a big guy that tall try to weave? You don't want to do that. Just keep your height.
Harris has spent a good deal of time, George, as a sparring partner for Lennox Lewis. Could that have given him bad habits?
He seems to have some kind of a imitates Lewis just a little bit. Keeps his left hand a little low. Then he gets low. That's the problem. You keep your hands low, stand tall.
He is so prized in the Lewis camp for his abilities as a sparring partner that when Lewis heard last year that Mike Tyson was going to hire Harris to prepare to fight Lennox, Lennox brought Harris in and paid him $3,500 a week to sit around and do nothing.
Smart.
Just to keep him away from Tyson.
That's smart. Very smart.
I've never heard a story like that, keep-away story, quite like that, Jim, as Emmanuel Stewart told us. That he felt that Harris would be the best mimicker of Lewis for Tyson.
He mimics him well. Kind of got that same attitude. Carries his hand in the same position.
Got everything except the big right hand, huh?
He throws it, though, like it's a big right hand. So you can really prepare for a Lewis with a guy like that.
There's still a small trickle of blood from Maurice Harris's left nostril. Probably the product of Prez Oquendo's assertive jab in the first couple rounds. There's a chopping right hand by Oquendo. That's the punch that gave Etienne so much trouble. All of the 7 knockdowns against Etienne came on overhand rights by Oquendo that hit Etienne around the top of the skull.
I see it back here at ringside, Floyd Mayweather Jr. standing up. The lightweight champion who will be fighting in April and shouting instructions to Harris.
Nice to have friends who can give you some instructions and they don't have to be in the corner.
Some emotional support, George.
Let's go to John Ruiz's locker room where the fighter has arrived.
Your head below the belt. Your
considered?
head below the belt.
Coming down like this?
You're not supposed to lower your head below your opponent's belt line.
What do we do with it if it happens?
Keep your head up.
No fouls?
I'm sorry?
There's no foul? There's no foul in that.
Where would the foul be?
Well, I
I'm
mean, you take a point away if he keeps doing it. You know what I'm saying? Keeps swaying his head below the belt.
I'll tell him to stop it. If he fails to comply with my wishes, then we'll address that.
It's going to be a big issue for us.
Okay, well, it might be a big issue, but then it might not be.
Okay.
But I'll certainly be aware of it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so, thank you.
Right. So, what Norman Stone, Ruiz's manager, seems to be saying is that he's worried that Roy Jones is going to do what we usually see Ruiz do, which is get into the body of his opponent, wrestle, clinch, and
he
so
seems
on.
to be trying to get into the head of the referee. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, exactly.
He said it's going to be a big issue. Norman Stone's life is a festival of big issues.
Right.
Harold, how do you have it through 3 in this fight?
Okay, Jim. I got it 30-27, 3 rounds to nothing. Fred Oquendo, basically on that left jab that he keeps landing. I got to tell you something. I've judged Maurice Harris fights before. Maurice Harris drives the judges crazy sometimes because he just doesn't open up enough. And that's basically the story here. If he would get off more and throw more punches, the judge, like he just did right there. He gets too many rounds by waiting.
That was a good right hand.
And Fred Oquendo is talking to Harris, saying that was nothing, baby. It was nothing.
And Harris replied, that was a good one. Maybe we ought to have them mic'd.
That's one of the longest heavyweight conversations since Ray Mercer was in the ring with Jesse Ferguson.
The referee stepped in and said he didn't want any more talking.
One reason that Harris may not be as active as many viewers would like to see him be is because he's seldom been in top shape.
In fact, he's never been in top shape.
I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
And he's about to get knocked out again by Fred Oquendo.
He's in very bad shape now. A right hand hurt him, followed by the left.
Great combo.
Get back in that corner. You okay?
Well, let's see how much will and drive Maurice Harris has brought tonight. Did he really want to win this fight, as he claimed yesterday?
He just got caught sleeping. He's been throwing those right hands all night and got caught sleeping.
Big punches from Oquendo there. Left hook, right hand. Harris saying, come on, bring more.
Oquendo is throwing punches with mean intentions, and Harris isn't.
This has gotten the crowd interested in the fight. Harris is talking with mean intentions, if not throwing punches.
We're coming with our head.
Harris catches Oquendo coming in, but doesn't catch him hard enough.
Harris can get a lot of right uppercuts in if he just make the motion. He doesn't have to even throw them with a lot of energy. Throw the right uppercut if you're Harris' corner. You got to tell him that.
Bring out. Go hit when I say bring, Harris. Let's go.
This is uncharacteristics of Oquendo, who normally is a pure boxer.
I think he feels like he's got a weak-willed opponent in there.
I think you're right.
Everybody be cool. Where the mouthpiece? Where the mouthpiece? Big guns. Relax. Jimmy, you got the mouthpiece. Sit over the bucket.
So, big right hand right there. That's the one that did the damage. The left hand just guided him to where he would fall in the ring. Oquendo is motivated not just by resurrecting his own career from that loss to Tua, but by the promise that if he can do his end of it and Ruiz can win, that they can have the first all Puerto Rican battle for a heavyweight belt.
Because they both have Puerto Rican lineage, though both have lived for the most part in the United States. Oquendo is back now down living in Puerto Rico, while most of his family lives up in Chicago. And Don King sees dollar signs in the notion of the two Puerto Rican heavyweight stars going against each other in Ose, San Juan.
That would be a big dollar match. I mean, an attraction in Puerto Rico.
Absolutely. CompuBox numbers through 4. Harris 25 out of 163, only 15%. Oquendo 67 out of 149, 45%, including a solid 40% of his jabs. Oquendo dominating the fight as we come into the 5th. Harris way behind on points. He's been knocked down once. Needs a comeback or a knockout to have a chance to win the fight.
Got in a good right hand that time.
Bring out.
Maurice is getting lazy with his left hand again. Lazy, laying it out there. That's when Oquendo gets over and gets it.
Bring out, Clean. Come on.
Harris landed another right cross over the top. Oquendo sticking the jab to the body. Oquendo has landed some punches from strange angles here. He doesn't care much about style points. Harris is more the classic boxer type, but therefore just doesn't get off as much stuff. There's a good right hand. Solid. Oquendo stunned by that one. I don't think they like it,
that Lennox Lewis throws in that same fashion. He's got it down to a T. Like Bob Gibson coming off that pitcher's plate. That pitcher's mound.
Fastball.
They had to cut the mound down because of it.
Bring out, come on. Let's go.
Well, it's still before the halfway mark in this fight. If Harris can win this round, he gets him back into a position where he can hope to get it into the fight.
Round 5, Maurice Harris's best round of the fight after he was knocked down and seemingly in trouble in the 4th.
Listen to me good. Listen. Get serious. Hey, don't be fooling around. Yeah, you took too many rods. You gotta be smarter. Come on. Yeah, you're not doing what you do. Cover yourself with your shoulder so the right hand doesn't come in. Don't let him get high. Don't let him get excited, because he's gonna.
Hit his arms, hit his chest, anything above the waist. Just get your points in, baby, right?
Yeah. Great job, man. Great job.
I want you to keep your hands up and slide to your right side while you're jabbing. Okay. The guy's trying to hit you in the back of the head. Yeah.
In his last appearance in the ring, Harris won 3 exhibition heavyweight bouts in one night for a $100,000 purse. It's going to be harder for him to win one fight tonight.
Power shots in round 5 by CompuBox estimate. Harris landed 9 to only 4 of Oquendo's. That's part of the reason why it was Maurice Harris's best round of the fight. James Bashir asks Maurice to keep his hands up in this round, and some of the time he does. Lands a jab there. Oquendo's offense is starting to go away as Harris's offense rises.
Oquendo just believes in his punching power here tonight. Figures that, hey, I can catch this guy to relax a moment and I can drop him again.
Another interested observer at ringside tonight is Vitaly Klitschko, the older of the Klitschko brothers. He'll be in Germany next week with us to see his younger, more talented brother, Vladimir Klitschko, fight.
Vitali spent much of the day charming reporters in the media room yesterday. The Klitschko brothers seem to enjoy every minute of their tour near the top of the boxing world.
Yeah. Right now, Vitali is a mandatory challenger for Lennox Lewis.
And may actually get to fight him.
And depending on how negotiations go with Tyson and whether Tyson wants to go through with the Lewis fight, he could wind up fighting Lewis in June.
Well, George, it looks like Maurice Harris has kind of gotten his feet on the ground in this fight.
I think so. He keeps his feet on the ground ordinarily. He just gets lazy there sometimes and doesn't do anything, drops his hand and looks at the guy. Well, why not take a shot then? That's what Oquendo is thinking. And he's not doing anything to me. I'll just throw something.
But Oquendo, who was beating Harris to the punch so easily and so consistently early in the fight, has been a little more tentative the last round and a half, as Harris started cracking him with good right hands after having gone down on the fourth.
First time Harris moved his legs, not just his body, just jumped out of the way.
Oquendo's jab not nearly the factor it was in the early rounds.
He had a good stinging left jab early on.
And there's another right cross on the chin by Harris. That one, a little bit of a glancing blow, but if it had been an inch higher, that was on target.
All right, break out, team. Stop. Let him out.
This is not exactly a barn-burning fight, but we've had a couple of pretty good fights on the undercard of a big event.
All right, stop.
Let's give
Step back.
Don King some credit for that. Winky Wright and Candello, excellent fight.
Well, you saw Jay Nady's instructions, or part of them, in John Ruiz's dressing room. Let's go to Roy Jones's dressing room with the referee.
If I think you're doing something wrong, I'll tell you to quit it, and I'll tell you that until I get a belly full of non-compliance. Then I'll tell you that you have to quit it, and I'll stop the fight and say, next time you do that, I'm going to take a point away, and I will take a point away. There's no standing 8 count. That's important because if you don't, if you're getting the corner and you can't get out, you're not throwing punches, I have to stop the fight. There's no more standing 8 count. There's no 3 knockdown rule either. If I tell you to break, I want you to break quickly and step back and defend yourself both times, at all times, all right? Anything else? Any questions? All right, good luck, and I'll see you in the ring.
Do you have any questions you want to answer?
Yes, we're going to fight clean. I just like for him to fight clean. I know you're going to stay on top of it.
I'll do my best, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
The laconic Alton Merkerson wrapping Roy's hand there. You see anything unusual or distinctive about the hand wrap, George?
Nothing at all. Those hands are not that big. You can use a lot of gall and not be over the limit. The big guys with the big hands, they're in trouble all the time.
CompuBox numbers in round 5. Oquendo 20 out of 60. Harris 16 out of 89. Most punches he's thrown in any round. Harold, how do you have it through 6?
Okay, Jim, I agree with you on rounds 5 and 6. I thought Maurice Harris won it. 4 rounds to 2. Oquendo 58 to 55. You got to give Oquendo an extra point in round 4 when he scored the knockdown. And Maurice Harris came back, won rounds 5 and 6, made it a little bit closer. So a 3-point lead for Oquendo. The momentum with Maurice Harris, who's moving forward, landing good left jabs and hard right hands.
It would be quite a Lazarus job if Harris actually got himself into position to try to win a decision in the fight, given the number of points and rounds he gave away early on. Or that, I should rather say, that Oquendo took away from him early on. Good left hook by Harris. Oquendo just not throwing much anymore, George.
Well, when he got the knockdown, he went out there and expelled a lot of energy and didn't get the knockout, and he hasn't recouped from it yet.
Well, he's reverted to his normal style.
Doesn't have the energy.
Now he's just going to wait and hope that Harris makes a mistake, leaves himself open, and that he can counter him.
Break out, come on.
Meanwhile, he's leaving an opportunity here for Harris to win rounds simply by being busier. And if Maurice has trained well enough to put that effort forth, he could get himself back into the fight.
Maurice is landing some good right hands. For some reason, he's not getting right on the point he'd like to hit him with. But if he comes back with the left hook, he can make something happen.
I started to say, he has a good left hook. Why isn't he following those right hands with the left hook?
He leads with the left hook, and that's not going to get it. He's got to be behind the right hand because he's shaking him up enough. He just needs to finish it, clean it up.
Isn't it safe to say, George, that the 3-punch and 4-punch combinations are only likely to flow if you're in really top condition?
Well, you can throw the combination, you just can't throw a lot of them if you're not in top condition.
Yeah.
Some of the guys who are terrible shape can get those combinations. They just can't keep it up.
Right.
Come on, Fred. Let's go.
There's that right hand without the left hook again.
Another Lennox Lewis affectation there as Maurice Harris measures Oquendo with the left hand before firing the right.
Oquendo is letting Harris back into the fight.
Sure is. Didn't do much in that round either.
Okay, take some air. Let's take some air. Listen, Freddie. The way you ended that round, that's what we have to do. You got conditioning, so let's go. Let's push him. Let's get him. You get the jab and move your hands. Let's move those hands in combinations. The jab first and then the combinations.
Count is count. Okay. It's a fight now, a dog fight. Let's go out of here right.
That's right.
Let's go out of here the way we doing the projects, man, all right? Yeah. Now we falling behind this thing. We need to liven things up now. Yeah, we falling behind. Hit him back in the body.
All right, seconds out. Stay in your corner, stay in your corner, stay in your corner, stay in your corner. Get back. Let's go.
While he's sitting, the corner lets Harris know where he stands in this fight.
This fight is scheduled for 12 rounds, not
behind.
for 10. 12 rounds, not 10. Plenty of time for Maurice Harris to reel Fres Oquendo in if Oquendo continues to drift in the fight the way he has for the past few rounds. In the 7th, Harris landed 12 out of 31 power shots. Oquendo only threw 14 and landed 2. Not a difficult round to score.
Oquendo needs to get back into that right hand shot he was doing. He's got to jab Maurice to the stomach a few times, make him drop his defense and lean forward a little. Then he can get that big right hand over again.
There's a right hand by Oquendo, his best punch in quite a while. It's so difficult sometimes for heavyweights to believe that they're in shape to go the distance. You heard Oquendo's trainer yelling at him, you've got the conditioning, push him. But the fighter has to believe it's there.
Yeah, you got to believe it. You got to answer all those questions in the training camp for yourself.
And there Harris tried to throw the left hook behind the right hand for the first time. Almost as though he was listening to George Foreman.
Hold it, Fred. Come on. Hold it, guys.
Another right hand by Harris. Another right hand on the top of the head. When the jab lands, the right hand is going to land behind it. Oquendo tries one body shot.
Come on, let's go. Hey.
Throws his left hand like Lennox Lewis. He doesn't put too much power on that jab, so he can come right back with the right hand.
And there's a left hook counter that drives Oquendo back. Oquendo seems to know that he has to do something. He seems to be trying to psych himself into throwing more punches. But Harris has a rhythm now. Now there's a good right hand by Oquendo.
Okay, let's go. Get him out. Break out. Let's go. Come on. Let's go.
This fight has turned into a good crowd outside here. There are a lot of people in this arena. Started out slow, but they're walking more and more in.
Come on, get him out, Chris. Let's go. Come on, let's go, guys. Come on. Stop. Let it go clean. Let it go clean.
Oquendo popped Harris with a little left hand before riding him back into the ropes. This round a little more even than its two predecessors. In fact, maybe on the table for somebody who flurries in these last few seconds.
Stop.
But nobody lands. Now let's look at the three judges who'll be scoring the John Ruiz versus Roy Jones Jr. fight. All three veterans of the sport. Stanley Christodoulou of South Africa, notably, he was the man who had the right score in Lennox Lewis versus Holyfield 1 at Madison Square Garden, March 13, 1999. He was also on target with the others who had Ruiz over Holyfield in their second fight. Veteran, experienced judge and referee. Dwayne Ford, veteran from here in Las Vegas, well known, as you can see. He was the guy who had the right score in the first Barrera-Morales fight, with Marco Antonio Barrera as the winner, as opposed to Morales, who wound up getting a hotly disputed decision. And finally, Jerry Roth of the United States, and you can see that he had John Ruiz ahead of Kirk Johnson 85-84, but the margin built by penalty points against Johnson. Also, he was one of those who scored Felix Trinidad, the winner, over Oscar De La Hoya. George Foreman, three veteran judges. If John Ruiz is plodding forward all night, as most expect to be the case, and Roy Jones is backing up and flurrying, will the judges favor Ruiz back?
I don't think so. You got to land punches. Doesn't matter what direction you're going in, forward or backward, you got to land punches, and they got to be effective punches. Roy Jones, they should be looking for him to move back. Side to side.
So it would be unfair to score against Jones solely because he's moving backward.
Oh, no, it would be extremely fair to understand that that's the way he's got to fight. Move around the ring.
Round 9 begins. Maurice Harris may have wound up making this a very close fight after having fallen well behind early. Lost the first 3 rounds, or seemed to, was knocked down in the 4th, but since then has more or less had his way against a slower, more tentative Press Oquendo.
Cortez is going to be a tired man tonight. He's got to pull these guys apart. 200 pounds on both sides.
You're holding too much. A strong warning. You're holding, okay?
Strong warning to Oquendo, and a penalty point would neutralize the knockout. Or the knockdown, I should say.
He's getting tired. He has to keep pulling these big guys apart like this. He's getting tired.
Get him out of there. Get him out. All right, break out, clean, break out. Let's go, break out.
He's got a website, JoeCortez.com, where he's teaching other kids to be referees and people.
I'll tell you, if you lose a fight because you tire down the stretch against the chronically under-conditioned Maurice Harris, that is an ignominious fate.
This guy's so tall. You throw all those shots up high where the punching bag in your training camp is never. It makes you tired ordinarily. Even the guys who hold the pads, they're low to your height.
In the minute or so since Cortez warned Oquendo for clinches, this is the 5th clinch.
Yeah, he doesn't want to disqualify the guys. He really wants the fight to go on. That's a good idea. You want to warn them, but you don't want to disqualify a person. That's a good referee.
There's another good right hand shot by Harris. He landed 2 right hands in a row. Oquendo sticks his left in return.
Let him out, clean. Let him out. Step back, step back, step back.
If I'm a judge, I take into account that Oquendo is forcing most of these clinches.
He's a clinch artist.
There it is, 1 punch clinch.
And another good flurry of body punches by Harris here.
Both of you guys are holding now.
If Harris keeps this up and wins the night, he may well have won 5 straight rounds and more or less even the fight.
All right, break out, break out, break out.
That would be quite a comeback for somebody who was taking a lot of flack from George and me earlier on.
You think about that referee. He is the one who's getting the fight tonight.
Yeah, Joe's having a hard time. Here's Roy Jones warming up in his dressing room for the biggest risk he's taken in boxing in 9 years. His battle tonight against John Ruiz, who outweighs him by somewhere between 33 and 40 pounds. And there's Ruiz, later arrival at the arena than that of Jones, but getting himself into fighting shape right now. It's the next fight after this one. So the moment this fight ends, it'll be 15 minutes until Jones and Ruiz are in the ring and ready to go.
You're only throwing 1 punch at a time. If you miss, keep throwing punches. The guy's dead.
He's tired, man. Come on, walk to him and punch the body out. Fight him, Mo.
Round 10 begins. Harold Letterman, has Maurice Harris reeled in Fres Oquendo on your scorecard?
Jim, I got to tell you something. I agree with you 100%. The last 5 rounds belong to Maurice Harris. I got it 85-85, 5 rounds to 4 in rounds for Maurice Harris, but Fres Oquendo gets that extra point for the knockdown. So we score on points, so the fight's all even at this point. To me, in the last 5 rounds, Fres Oquendo has done little more than grab. Joe Cortez finally won them for holding. It hasn't stopped Fres Oquendo from holding, as we see there. If anybody is landing clean punches, it's Maurice Harris.
I have Oquendo still ahead by a point because I scored 1 round even.
Bottom line is, you've got 3 rounds to go, and the fight is available to either competitor. There's the best jab Oquendo's thrown in 5 rounds.
He's gotten back on his left jab, which had gotten him into the fight earlier. He'd gotten away from it, but he's returned.
Now Harris lands a good one. But there's Oquendo sticking the jab aggressively again. That's what got him off to such a great start in the fight.
Bring out. Let's go. Come on, guys. Both of you guys are holding, man.
I think both fighters are tired. That's why the clinches occur.
Stop. Let him out. Come on, guys. Hey, guys, come on, man. Hey, this is not... Hey, guys, time out. Hey, guys, come here. This is not a wrestling match. We come here to have a fight, okay? Let's go. Time in. Let's go.
Well said.
Yeah, but you can say it all you want. These guys are tired. And they're going to fall on each other and hold. That's the way it's got to be. You got to understand that.
They may do that, George.
But there's no way they can stop that.
You're right, but I think he has to remind them.
Yeah, but there's no way they're going to be able to stop that. They hit and they're going to hold. That's what happens when big guys get tired.
Big left hook by Oquendo. Chopping right hand. Harris doesn't look like a guy who's going to get up.
Yep, he leaped in, left himself open, and Oquendo just stood there and nailed him with the left hook.
And
Harris is still out.
Yep. And the chopping right hand, I believe, landed right on the temple, which may account for the days in which Maurice Harris now finds himself. But Fres Oquendo strikes like lightning to secure a big win.
Now the big fight can happen in Puerto Rico, maybe.
And now Maurice Harris can call himself the best 13-loss fighter in the world. Or in the heavyweight division, I should say.
That was a clean knockout.
Good one.
Harris expended so much energy coming from so far behind that he finally walked into a left hook. I believe it was a left right there. It was the left that did it.
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect left hook. And then the little chopper on the top of the head. But George made the point exactly that Oquendo was just waiting for Harris to make a mistake so that he could try to knock him out. And Maurice Harris
leaning to his left,
giving to laziness in the ring.
Leaning to the Oquendo's left, and he got it. I'm surprised. I thought
there he was. Leaned right into that punch, didn't he, George?
There he goes, and it's out. He's out. Mothers, don't let your boys grow up to be boxers.
Well, with the fight on the line, Oquendo took it. He took it early, coasted for a while, but when it came back into doubt, he took it.
Day in, day out, he's the more competitive fighter, and eventually he showed it. Let's go to Jimmy Lennon Jr. for the official particulars on the knockout.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 2 minutes, 12 seconds in round number 10. The winner by way of knockout fast, Fres Oquendo.
Oquendo's record goes to 24 wins, 1 loss, 15 KOs. And now he'll hope for a bout with Ruiz. If Ruiz can beat Roy Jones, let's go back upstairs to Bob Costas.
Okay, Jim, and every fight on our undercard tonight, interesting and exciting.